Welcome back to News Geelong as we continue with news from Geelong, the Bellarine and around the Surf Coast. The second directly elected mayoral process for the City of Greater Geelong is underway, with nominations closing this week. Now the real work starts for the 16 nominated candidates. Stephanie Asher, who was placed second in the first directly elected mayoral election, is running again.
We're down at the glorious Eastern Beach with the kids' pool behind me, and we've been able to have a chat with the first female candidate for the run for Geelong's mayor, Stephanie Asher.
Well, it's a great opportunity, I think, to make a positive impact on Geelong. All the reasons are the same as last time. I think there's an awful lot that can be done in a positive fashion. We're in a different climate now, and I think in terms of raising standards, which is what I would be focusing on, I think Keith has really set a really good foundation for Geelong, and I'd be looking to take the baton and continue that and really focus on raising the standards and insisting on cleaning up the behaviour at council.
So is it a bit daunting after the fate of Keith, wonderful man that he is, that what's your feeling about stepping into that role after his demise, I guess?
Well, I think anybody who's going for this particular role is going in with the eyes wide open, but I also think there's a bit of a contradiction between sort of reality and perception too. I think everybody's sort of getting onto the overcomplicating side of things. I don't think it's probably as bad as we all feel it is. There's a whole lot of reasons why the situation with Keith transpired, and I think it's all very positive outlook from now on, just taking those foundations that he laid and onto a new future for Geelong.
So if voters are looking at Stephanie Asher, can you give us just a brief outline of the Stephanie Asher story?
Stephanie Asher's story. Well, management consultant, communications professional, so I've been running my own business for 20 years, working with a range of different businesses, including councils actually, but probably from the global organisations such as BHP Billiton and GE Money to the more local businesses, the one-man bands, and helping people with marketing, communications, strategy, business planning, that sort of thing.
So what would be the plan if you were to get the role of mayor with that other business life?
I tend to take contracts as they appear at the moment, and as I ran a federal campaign as an independent just recently, I was required to resign anything that was constituted holding an office of profit under the Crown. So I had to resign most of the government work that I had, and I've currently got a few things going, but I'll probably hand those off to partners or various other consultants around town. You know, share the work where you can, really.
Makes it a bit tough, and you were saying about your British passport as well.
Yes, that's right. As an independent candidate, you have to renounce your British citizenship. So I've given that up. I got the notification for that yesterday. So yeah, that was a fairly big decision to make, but I figured I'm the only one in my family that holds dual citizenship anyway, so I would be the one that would be qualified to work overseas and they would all be on holiday. So I figured that's not such a bad thing.
So again, we've got a bit of controversy going on about the Geelong Council at the moment and the idea of the financial situation that they're in, and things like selling off wonderful buildings like Osborne House and the Geelong Jail. What's your thoughts on that?
I'd have to look at the whole financial sustainability review and look at the detail there. I think it's been proposed. I don't think it's actually a decision. I don't necessarily agree with selling off major assets. It's a fairly short-sighted solution, I think, but certainly I know that there's been talk for quite a while of selling off the jail. So as with everything, you need to find out the detail before you make a whole lot of comments, but I certainly wouldn't just be rushing to agree to sell off Osborne House in particular, because that's absolutely an amazing piece of land and it's got a lot of history associated with it.
So I suppose really in a nutshell, Stephanie, if we were to vote for you, tell us what we would be getting.
You'd be getting somebody fair, somebody positive and somebody tough enough to make the right decisions, but I'm very inclusive in the way that I work, so I don't envisage a bloodbath at council. I envisage working well and cooperatively with the councillors and also with the officers as well to bring out the best for Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl. We continue to see innovative ways for organisations to raise money for the many different community not-for-profit groups around our great city of Geelong and the Surf Coast. Well, the ladies of the Surf Coast recently produced one from outside the square with No Undies Sunday. Ian Nichols got the job to report on this.
Well, here we are at Fisherman's Beach in Torquay. Lovely day, it's nice and mild, not too much sunshine, for the inaugural No Undies Sunday. Now, it has a very interesting title, but a very worthwhile cause behind it, because we know that cancer can hit anywhere in the human body, and quite often not enough importance has been placed, particularly for young men, on prostate cancer. And so a committee of people have got together for the inaugural No Undie Sunday. We're talking with Kim Poyner and also with Julian Owens, who came up with the idea and took it to the Guinness Book of Records. No Undie Sunday might sound a little bit rude and crude, but in actual fact, it's for a very worthwhile cause. It's an awareness campaign for people who have suffered cancer, under the belt line, so to speak. And Kim Poyner, it's a great idea. You're giving credit to Julian for coming up with the idea?
Absolutely, and these girls here too. We sort of had a bit of a concept going on. We bantered around about all the different cancer fundraisers that go around, and particularly breast cancer seemed to make a huge impact. And there's Girls Night In, there's Pink Breakfast, Relay for Life. We've been involved in a few of them as well. But no one really targeted men's cancer, I guess. And we kind of just went, well, what sort of cancer is there? And we started bantering around all the different cancers and so forth, and went, most of them under your underwear. So one of our friends who's not here, which is a shame really, but anyway, she came up with the No Undie Sunday concept, and we took it from there. And then these gorgeous girls came on board, and we started just building on little concepts, and other people started donating things, and Julian came on board and said that he wanted to do something to the cause as well, and he decided that he'd contact the Guinness Book of Records, and he came up with adding a clothesline to the concept and putting our underwear on there and raising awareness that way. So it's more of a visual impact and trying to get people down here as much as possible to see that cancer affects you not only under your undies but under your bra as well. And it's nothing to do with taking your undies off and hanging out on a Sunday. It's actually about trying to bring awareness to a horrible disease that's inflicted a lot of us.
Well, you've got to look a little committee here. They're wearing very impressive T-shirts or tank tops, No Undie Sunday, and already the clothesline is building. It's only early days yet. We've been here an hour or so, so you're obviously getting a very good response. And this is Christine, yeah?
Yes, yeah, it's actually been great, the people that have already come down. So we're only early, as you say. We've got the whole afternoon. It's here till 6, and we're hoping that this line will be full and will make a record. So that will be exciting if we can achieve that.
Well, being the first year, Julian, perhaps you could come over and just tell us, you've already been in touch with the Guinness Book of Records.
We have, yeah. We've put in a claim, so we're still awaiting on that. But after today, officially, I think we'll hold the world record because there's never been one set before. So we haven't got much to beat, but we're hoping perhaps to do this again next year and set a record today and maybe get further on it next year as well. Make it a bit of a yearly tradition, perhaps.
Well, it's something you can build on, isn't it? I mean, this is just the forerunner, precursor, if you like, to what could be a very big promotion on an annual basis.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also about, obviously, males, young men, a lot of them think they're invincible when it comes to health, and that's not always the case, and sometimes it takes something like this to even spark someone's personal interest in their own health, and from that things can happen. So my idea of getting on board was pretty much just to sort of give young men a bit of a wake-up call to the fact that getting yourself off to see a doctor once a year is a really important thing, and it should be a part of everyone's game plan.
Well, a very important message, and we can't impress upon young fellas particularly to do that. So, girls, you've already made your contribution today, have you, to this very impressive line?
Yes, we have. Yes, we've been working on this for quite a few months, so I think today's the conclusion to everything.
Well, perhaps in the spirit of things, perhaps I should, Fano, do the right thing here, and well, a bit of a... We've got it right. And I think I have a clothes spec to match.
Yeah, get it on.
Yes. And hopefully we'll get that message across. Thank you so much, and congratulations on coming up with a super idea.
Thank
you. And let's hope it's just the forerunner of many to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. And now we'll look at the weather for Geelong and the Surf Coast over the next 6 days. Tomorrow, Saturday, will be partly cloudy with some isolated showers until evening. Winds will be west to southwest 25 to 35 kilometres per hour with a top of 17. Sunday will continue with the cloud cover with west to southwest winds 15 to 25 k's with a top of 17. Monday will be partly cloudy, the chance of showers later in the day, with winds east to northeast 15 to 20 k's and an expected top of 20 degrees. Tuesday will continue with the partly cloudy conditions with isolated showers, winds north to northwest 20 to 30 k's and a top of 17. Wednesday continues to be expected partly cloudy conditions with winds south to southwesterly 30 to 35 k's and a top of 17. While to finish off the month of October weather-wise, Thursday will be also partly cloudy with southeast winds 35 kilometres an hour and a top of 19. Today was partly cloudy with isolated showers about the surf coast extending throughout the early morning. Winds were westerly up to 40 k's. We reached a top temperature of 17 at 2:30 this afternoon. And that's the Bureau of Meteorology weather outlook for Geelong and the surf coast over the next 6 days. As we go to a break, we'll return with Alex Tikitagani and our News Geelong Sports Report. Be back shortly.